Being alone isn't just about solitude, it's about finding a sanctuary of peace that many people never truly discover. Every interaction, every choice, every moment carries energy. Some uplift us, while others weigh us down. Recognizing this is essential because holding on to things that no longer serve us can cloud the way forward, preventing us from embracing new beginnings. Stoicism offers us a profound lesson in the art of detachment, not just letting go, but clearing the way for new possibilities to enter our lives. When we release the burdens of the past, we create space for fresh starts and allow ourselves to align more closely with our true potential. Today, let's dive deep into how embracing solitude can be one of your most powerful strategies for personal renewal and freedom. This isn't just about the philosophy of letting go, it's about applying Stoic principles to transform your life, turning the ordinary into something extraordinary. We'll unpack the tools you need to clear out the old and make room for the new, setting you on a journey of self-discovery that can shift the way you view every relationship and situation in your life. Stay tuned as we explore how to navigate life's challenges not just with resilience, but with a deep sense of peace and purpose. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, often spoke about the importance of retreating into oneself. By withdrawing from the noise and distractions around us, we can better hear our inner voice. This isn't about isolating ourselves from the world, but rather about seeking clarity in quiet moments. In solitude, we reflect on our values, actions, and interactions, gaining insight into who we are and why we react the way we do. The Stoics teach us that by taking time apart, we can differentiate between what we can control and what we can't. In these moments of reflection, we question our impulses, desires, and emotions, uncovering their origins. Why do we feel what we feel? How much of our discontent is shaped by external circumstances versus our internal dialogue? Just as our bodies need rest after physical exertion, our minds need time to recharge and reset. Solitude often sparks bursts of creativity and clarity, allowing us to solve problems or come up with new ideas that were otherwise elusive amidst the chaos of everyday life. Epictetus, another great Stoic, advocated for keeping our desires in check as a way to maintain peace and tranquility. He urged us to examine whether something is a true need or just a want. By distinguishing between the two, we can align our actions with our core values and avoid becoming slaves to our desires. This doesn't mean we must deny ourselves all indulgences, but rather make conscious choices that allow our wants to stay in harmony with our needs. By focusing on needs rather than wants, we reduce clutter in both our physical and mental space. We make room for what truly matters, fostering a simpler, more focused life. As we shift our attention away from endless acquisitions or fleeting desires, we cultivate a deeper appreciation for what we already have, leading to greater contentment and resilience, regardless of the external circumstances we face. The Stoics were champions of rational thinking. Seneca, in particular, emphasized that while we can't control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. By adopting a rational mindset, we examine situations objectively before reacting emotionally. For example, if you're facing dissatisfaction in a job or relationship, a Stoic approach would encourage you to step back and analyze the situation without being clouded by feelings. Ask yourself, what are the tangible benefits versus the drawbacks? Is there a disconnect between your core values and what the situation is offering? Through rational analysis, you can make more informed decisions about whether to persevere, adjust your approach, or let go. Rational thinking also helps us manage expectations. Often, we feel upset not because of the situation itself, but because it didn't meet our preconceived expectations. By setting more realistic expectations, we can avoid many of life's disappointments and frustrations. Change is inevitable, seasons shift, relationships evolve, and careers transition. The Stoics understood that resisting these natural shifts only leads to unnecessary pain and suffering. Instead, they advocated for embracing change, seeing it as an opportunity for personal growth and fresh perspective. Focusing only on what we can control is a core Stoic practice. While we can't prevent external events like a job restructuring or a relationship change, we can control how we respond. Do we adapt, seek new opportunities, or adjust our skills to fit new circumstances? By reducing our attachment to things that are inherently temporary, whether a job or a relationship, we safeguard our inner peace. This doesn't mean we stop caring about these aspects of life, but that we hold them lightly, ready to adapt when circumstances change. Simplifying life doesn't just mean reducing physical clutter, it also means prioritizing your essential needs. These include mental and physical health, as well as meaningful relationships. When we focus on what truly matters, our well-being, purpose, and the quality of our relationships, we align our lives with our deepest values. For mental health, this could mean practices like meditation or regular self-reflection. For physical health, it might involve choosing activities and foods that nourish both your body and mind. When it comes to relationships, focusing on essential needs means investing in connections that are reciprocal, supportive, and enriching. By clearing away less critical needs, we make room for what is most important, both physically and emotionally. This process of decluttering helps us make decisions that align more closely with our philosophy and long-term goals. For example, if spending time with family is an essential need for you, you might choose to work fewer hours, even if it means earning less, because the emotional and non-material rewards of family time far outweigh any temporary financial gain. Nothing in life is permanent. Recognizing the impermanence of all things, joys, struggles, successes, and failures, can radically change how we approach our daily lives. For instance, understanding that joyful moments won't last forever encourages us to savor them fully while they're here, without the pressure to hold on to them. Similarly, knowing that difficult times are also temporary helps us endure hardship with a sense of perspective, knowing that this too shall pass. Stoic detachment isn't about disengaging from life, but about understanding the transient nature of everything around us. We don't cling to external circumstances or outcomes. Instead, we focus on how we respond, cultivating resilience and inner peace amidst change. This awareness helps us live more fully in the present, appreciating life as it is now, rather than how it used to be or how we fear it might become. Embrace change, cultivate resilience, and live with purpose. Our control in life is far more limited than we often realize. We can only truly control our actions and reactions, not the outcomes or the behaviors of others. Recognizing this truth brings a sense of peace, especially in the face of life's inevitable changes and losses. Embracing impermanence isn't just about accepting that life will always shift. It's about using that acceptance to build resilience. When we understand that change is the only constant, we're less likely to be overwhelmed by it. Instead, we can adapt quickly, moving forward with a clear mind and an open heart. This mindset encourages us to focus on building our inner resources, like our character and virtue, rather than overinvesting in things outside our control. Stepping out of our comfort zone can be daunting, yet it's often incredibly rewarding. Each new skill we learn, every new person we meet, adds richness to our lives in ways that staying within the familiar never could. The process of embracing new experiences reshapes our perspective on problems and attachments. When we expose ourselves to new ways of thinking and living, our own struggles may seem less unique or insurmountable. We might discover solutions we hadn't considered or realize that the challenges we face are shared by many. This broader viewpoint naturally reduces stress and anxiety by helping us break free from clinging too tightly to what we already know. By actively engaging in new experiences, we combat the stagnation that can arise from too much routine. This process invigorates both the mind and spirit, infusing our lives with a sense of adventure and curiosity. Stoicism doesn't teach us to fear the unknown. It encourages us to approach it with courage and a willingness to learn. Every new experience is an opportunity to practice virtues like courage, temperance, and wisdom in real time. Imagine taking just a few minutes at the end of each day to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and emotions. This simple exercise can be transformative, helping you grow both personally and ethically. Some people find meditation useful, quiet time to turn inward and assess their thoughts and behaviors. Others prefer journaling, writing down what happened, how they felt, and how they responded to various situations. This daily practice is not only about personal efficiency or success, it's about aligning with your true path by shedding the distractions and worries that clutter your mind. Stoic reflection helps you focus on what truly matters, your values, your character, and the impact you have on the world around you. It fosters self-awareness and accountability, reminding you that your life is yours to shape. As Epictetus said, no person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have and to cheerfully put to good use what they do have. Through reflection, we learn to accept our limitations while recognizing and harnessing our strengths. Identifying and understanding unhealthy attachments is a crucial step in freeing ourselves. These attachments can take many forms: toxic relationships, harmful habits, unfulfilled aspirations, or material possessions that weigh us down instead of liberating us. Often, these attachments persist simply because they are familiar, comforting in their predictability, even if they are ultimately detrimental. To begin freeing ourselves, we must first honestly evaluate our lives. What causes us anxiety or sadness? Which relationships drain us rather than lift us up? What ambitions create stress without providing fulfillment? We need to ask ourselves the tough questions. Does this enhance my life and align with my values? Is the emotional or physical cost worth the benefit? And perhaps most importantly, are we holding on to this simply because it's become a habit? Once we acknowledge these unhealthy attachments, Stoic philosophy offers a framework for addressing them. By detaching ourselves from the things that disturb our inner peace, we can rationally evaluate each attachment's true worth and role in our lives. It's a process of letting go of relationships, habits, or material possessions that no longer serve us. This doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, patience, and perseverance, we gradually build our inner strength and ability to act with reason rather than impulse. Setting limits on our desires doesn't mean abandoning ambition or aspiration. Instead, it's about discerning what truly matters and focusing our efforts on those pursuits. Stoicism teaches us to direct our energy toward what is within our control, recognizing that unchecked desires can lead to a constant cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. By setting limits, we free ourselves from the never-ending pursuit of more, whether it's material possessions, external validation, or transient pleasures. This shift in perspective cultivates a sense of gratitude and contentment, helping us to appreciate what we already have: the love of friends and family, the beauty of nature, the small pleasures of daily life. It encourages us to find joy in the present moment rather than constantly striving for something more. The result? Inner peace and tranquility. By choosing wisely and recognizing that true happiness comes from within, not from external sources, we can cultivate a life of self-sufficiency and resilience. Engaging in creative activities, whether painting, writing, music, or any form of artistic expression, offers a powerful escape from the stress and monotony of daily life. When we immerse ourselves in creativity, we enter a flow state where time seems to disappear and the mind becomes fully engaged. This state mirrors the Stoic practice of being present, attuned to the task at hand, unburdened by past regrets or future anxieties. Creativity is not just an outlet for self-expression, it's a tool for self-discovery. It invites us to explore our deepest thoughts, fears, and desires, helping us understand who we are and who we might become. In this way, creativity mirrors the Stoic ideal of knowing oneself deeply. Each act of creation, no matter how small, affirms our ability to shape the world around us. It becomes an exercise in empowerment, reinforcing our sense of autonomy and competence. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is that frustration often arises not from the facts themselves, but from our expectations and desires that things should be different. For instance, we might wish for perfect health, constant happiness, or unending success. But life is inherently unpredictable, and change is inevitable. By accepting the reality of change and the fact that many outcomes are beyond our control, we free ourselves from anxiety and disappointment. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. It means acknowledging that we can't control everything, but we can control our responses. When we love and accept the facts, the way things truly are, we find peace in the present moment. This mindset frees us from the frustration of wishing things were different and empowers us to move forward with grace and wisdom. By embracing Stoic practices, reflection, self-awareness, setting limits on desires, letting go of unhealthy attachments, and cultivating resilience, we can transform our lives. It's not about avoiding change or discomfort, but learning to meet them with wisdom, courage, and a steady heart. Imagine this: life's challenges come at us in all shapes and sizes. Some we can control, others we cannot. Stoic philosophy, however, teaches us that while we can't dictate the events around us, we hold the true power in how we respond. This power is not some abstract concept, but a deeply grounded strength that lies in our control over our thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Stoics, like Epictetus, emphasize that our response to external circumstances is where our true freedom resides. We must decide how to navigate the ups and downs of life, without letting the waves of the external world carry us away. Instead of being tossed by the unpredictable, we become the captains of our own ship, steering with deliberate intent and mindful choices. When we understand and embrace life's difficulties, we begin to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities, tests of patience, resilience, courage, and all the virtues that shape our character. The Stoics teach us that every hardship, every unchangeable aspect of our existence, is a chance to practice and grow stronger. This shift in perspective transforms life's challenges into powerful learning moments, helping us discover our inner reserves of strength and capacity. Now, let's talk about internal control. The more we focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses, the more we empower ourselves. In a world that seems unpredictable, full of traffic jams, difficult colleagues, and the endless tide of unsettling news, the one thing we can reliably control is how we react. This doesn't mean we ignore our emotions or pretend we are unaffected by life's challenges. It means that, no matter what happens, we choose to respond in ways that align with our core values and long-term goals. By practicing this internal focus, we build resilience. True resilience isn't about avoiding discomfort, but about facing challenges head-on with composure and courage. Just as a dancer practices tirelessly to perfect every step, we can train ourselves to respond to adversity with calm and clarity, no matter how intense the pressure. This practice builds mental and emotional muscle, enabling us to bounce back quickly from setbacks, not because we are immune to pain, but because we know how to process and learn from it. What's truly liberating about this approach is that it shifts the locus of control inward. Our happiness and emotional well-being are no longer tied to the whims of fate or the actions of others. Instead, we are in the driver's seat, able to steer our emotional state with intentional effort and mindful practice. This is not merely a theory, but a daily, practical exercise that can be cultivated through journaling, meditation, or simple self-reflection. By regularly checking in with ourselves, we strengthen our ability to live by our values, adjust when we veer off course, and reaffirm our commitment to living a life of integrity. Next, let's dive into fear. Stoicism doesn't suggest that we simply endure fear. It encourages us to confront it head-on. Fears often keep us trapped in cycles of unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, and paths that ultimately leave us unfulfilled. But when we face our fears directly, whether they arise from failure, rejection, or the unknown, we begin to break free from these chains. Fear, while natural, often distorts reality, keeping us from pursuing personal growth, new opportunities, or deeper connections with others. By examining our fears rationally, as Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius advise, we can see that many of them are based on illusions or irrational beliefs. We can strip away the emotional charge of fear by questioning its validity, allowing us to see that the worst-case scenario is often far less daunting than we imagined. Through this rational process, fear loses its grip on us, making space for courage to emerge. Resilience, as the Stoics define it, goes beyond simply bouncing back from setbacks. It's about growing through adversity. When faced with loss, failure, or hardship, resilience is the ability to recover and keep moving forward with even greater strength. Stoicism teaches us to prepare for life's difficulties by anticipating them ahead of time. Marcus Aurelius used a practice called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, where he would mentally prepare for the challenges of the day. This practice builds resilience by helping us mentally rehearse our responses, so when adversity strikes, we remain centered and composed. Resilience, therefore, is not about avoiding discomfort, but about building inner peace and strength, knowing that external circumstances cannot determine our happiness unless we let them. We focus on what we can control: our actions, our responses, and our values. This Stoic mindset empowers us to remain calm, no matter the external chaos. Another key aspect of Stoicism is developing healthy relationships. The Stoics viewed relationships as places of mutual support and honesty, not just superficial interactions. They were rooted in virtue, both partners striving to live according to reason, ethics, and truth. The relationships we cultivate should challenge us positively, supporting both our personal growth and our moral development. By reflecting on our relationships, we ask ourselves, do these interactions bring mutual joy and growth? Do they align with my values and contribute to my well-being? Stoicism teaches us to be selective in the company we keep, not out of elitism, but out of a recognition that the people we spend time with influence our character. As Seneca wisely said, We should foster friendships that promote mutual improvement, where both parties learn and teach, give, and receive. These relationships build a foundation for a life lived with integrity, a life that supports each person's growth and well-being. Finally, let's reflect on our legacy. Legacy isn't just about what we leave behind after we're gone. It's about how we live today. What principles guide our actions? How do we affect those around us? Are our daily endeavors, whether in our careers, relationships, or community, contributing to a higher purpose? Stoicism teaches us to form attachments based on reason, not on transient desires or material pursuits. Our legacy is shaped by the choices we make today, our actions aligned with our core values. This focus on creating a meaningful legacy encourages us to detach from what doesn't serve our greater good, whether that's unhealthy attachments, fleeting pleasures, or misguided goals. By realigning our priorities and focusing on contributions that align with our virtues, we not only ensure that our lives are lived with integrity, but we also leave a lasting, positive impact on the world. Thank you for joining me on this journey of Stoic self-improvement. If you feel inspired to explore how these principles can transform your life, I invite you to continue reflecting on these lessons. Remember, each step toward embracing Stoic wisdom brings us closer to living a life of virtue, resilience, and deep fulfillment. Live today with courage, wisdom, and integrity.